Hello, welcome back to the Cars.co.za YouTube channel. I'm Chery De Siena and this is the brand new MG HS. I'm recording this beginning of February 2025. This car's just been launched at the end of January and I'm here to tell you all about it. Before I get started though, go check out our app in your app store and try out our relatively new quick search feature. It's a very intuitive way of finding exactly what you're looking for amongst our over 70,000 cars. Right, let's go. New MG HS.
Think of a car, any car. Yes, Cars.co.za. Let's find what moves you.
So what is this HS? Well, it has arrived to give the legacy automakers more headaches from China. It is built by the SAIC Corporation, Shanghai Automotive Investment Corporation, which is the largest builder of ICE vehicles in China. It's also the 7th largest manufacturer in the world. Now, interestingly, in China, SAIC and Volkswagen and SAIC and General Motors both have joint ventures. And what they've essentially done is all co-opted and got into bed together and developed similar engines. Well, same engine, same chassis, same gearbox, all the rest of it. So this is kind of like a Chinese Volkswagen sort of underneath. And MG has now expanded to over 100 countries around the world. They're doing particularly well in Britain, and of course it was only a matter of time until they came to South Africa. So obviously Great Wall Motors and Chery have achieved huge success in our market, and MG wants a slice of the pie. So they've launched with this, the smaller and cheaper ZS, which we've also filmed for the channel. Go and check it out. And they've launched the Cyberster, which is a bit of a unique offering. It's a very fast all-wheel drive, soft roader, scissor door, electric sports car thing. It's very cool. I actually really want to drive that Cyberster. I want to hammer it up Franschhoek Pass and see what it's like. Quiet, I'd imagine. Quiet and fast. There's a great saying, a microwave might cook a beef patty faster, but no one ever wanted a microwave cheeseburger. Sage advice from someone on Twitter who I can't remember. So let's kick it off right with pricing and warranties, because I think the warranty that MG has come to market with is really strong. So 7-year, 200,000 kilometer, bumper to bumper warranty. The service plan is a bit shorter, which is quite typical. It's 5-year, 90,000, but that warranty is very strong. I mean, when you consider the Toyota and Volkswagen still offer 3 years, Ford offers 4 years, Nissan still does 6, and Hyundai does 7, but the trick with the Hyundai warranty is for the last 2 years and the last 50,000, it's only a drivetrain warranty. So for instance, if your window switches stop working or something like that, then it's your problem. So MG right off the bat coming in and saying we are confident in our product and we will look after you for the next 7 years. Now that has an interesting effect on used car prices, because when you come to sell the car or trade it in, say 3 years down the line, it still has 4 years of warranty left, which really does support the used car value. So in terms of depreciation here, you may have a little bit more protection than some of the legacy brands. Now, interestingly, just before MG launch, GWM said we're rolling out 7-year, 200,000 kilometer warranties on all our cars. And I wonder if they got a little whisper of what MG was planning and then they just wanted to pip them to the post. Oh, see, on to you guys. In terms of the dealer network, there are currently, as of early Feb 2025, 25 dealers open across the country, with another 5 coming online soon. So pretty much a national footprint there for MG. Unless you live in a pretty rural area, you should be okay. Should be close to a dealership. Now from launch, you will be able to choose from a 1.5 litre turbo and a 7-speed auto. That's what's available right now. That's what I'm driving. There will also be a 2 litre turbo coming with a 9-speed auto, and that thing's got some serious power. 177 kilowatts, 370 Newton meters. Actually, it could have been 170 kilowatts, but still, that's like knocking on, Golf GTI territory. In this one, 125 kilowatts, 275 Newton meters. And of course, because it's turbocharged, you'll get exactly or pretty much that sort of power up on the high veld at altitude. So that's good. Fuel consumption is claimed at 6.9 liters to 100 on average. I am averaging something, which I don't know because I don't know how to find it. No, that's the music. Okay, that's good. So let's talk about the overall experience here. I think that MG has concentrated and built the car to impress when you first get in the vehicle. So all the touch points are quite nice and soft, and the fake leather's pretty good. You know what I found out recently, actually? Even on a brand new BMW X5, like a 2 million rand car, you have to pay extra for real leather. It actually comes with leather tech as standard. Imagine going into a dealership and being like, yes, I'd like to spend 2 million rand on a vehicle. Would you like leather with that, sir? Yes, I bloody well would, and I don't want to pay extra for it. Anyway, rant over. So yes, in an MG costing 500,000 rand, you're not going to get leather, but the leather is pretty convincing. It's actually of a decent quality. Right, we're on the highway. Let's see what this thing is like at highway cruising. Foot down. It's a bit of surge. And we are relatively quickly up to 120. Yeah, I think overtaking is fine. It's not a rocket ship, but I think if you need to get past a truck on the highway, you're on the N1, cruising down to Cape Town, overtaking ability is okay. So in terms of overall ride quality, I am pretty impressed with the noise, vibration and harshness. There's not much road noise at all. A little bit of wind noise today, quite a windy day in Cape Town. But when you're cruising around the suburbs at 40, 50, 60 k's an hour, you barely hear the engine at all, and there's very little noise coming into the cabin. In fact, my director's son thought when we was going really slowly, it might have been an electric vehicle. That's how quiet it actually is. The other aspect which impresses me of the drive is how the suspension manages to be very comfortable and quite soft and spongy and deal with road imperfections very nicely. But then when you go around the corner, the car actually corners quite flat. It's almost sporty in its handling. So I don't really, it's a bit of voodoo to get those two aspects out of the same suspension system without having electronic dampers and active dampers and all that sort of thing. So I think they've done well there, and in the press release it does say that the chassis dynamics were fettled by British engineers. Good word, that, fettle. Sounds a bit off though, it's like moist. What does fettle really mean? The press release for these cars was very entertaining, I must say. Vigorous design, leopard-like haunches. There's a lot going on here. And then let me take you through the pricing. So right now you can only buy the 1.5s, turbos, the 2 liters are still coming, hopefully first quarter this year. So I haven't driven one of those yet, only driven one of the 1.5s. This is the luxury and it is top spec. You do get a couple of extra little niceties, which I'll take you through in the interior scene, which we'll shoot in a little bit. But I really want to take you through pricing. So $499 for the entry level comfort, it's very well spec'd at that price. $539 for the top spec luxury. Now that is bang on with pricing with the Haval H6, which is this car's key competitor. So if you're in the market for something around the 500k mark, then you can look at those. Now, a car which offers really good value, is a little smaller than this, is the Chery Tiggo 7 Pro, and this sort of fits between that and the Tiggo 8 Pro, which is a larger 7-seater and costs quite a bit more. Now, if you start comparing to not the Chinese brands and then going on to the traditional brands, the legacy brands, let's maybe call them, we tested the Volkswagen Tiguan recently, the new 1.4, and that car that we had on test, the base price was 766, I think, but the price as tested was 902,000 Rand, and it had pretty much the same spec as this. So yeah, you could almost buy two of these for the same price as a Tiguan. It's quite a big saving. Stop bonging. I'm gonna turn that off now. No more bongs, please focus on driving. I'm looking at the infotainment system. How am I meant to stop bonging? What is going on? I'm going to have a bloody accident because I'm trying to turn off the bonging. What? That's a different bong. Now we're on to bong 2. There's a little like face monitor thing here on the A pillar. This car is like, we don't want Chery to talk to camera. I'm not doing anything wrong. Okay, wait. I'm gonna look at the infotainment system now. Let's see how long it takes to shout at me. Here we go. I'm gonna have to pull over. Okay. Now it's bonging because I pulled over. What? The thing is, I'm not anti-safety, but one of the annoying things about a lot of Chinese branded vehicles is that every time you get in the car, it resets itself to all the default settings, and then you have to go and turn all the bongs off again. All right. Now there's a thing here saying off, like it's like annoyed with me. Fine, I won't tell you what the speed limit is. Do whatever you want. It's like it's like after you have a fight with your girlfriend, everything's fine. It's fine. What do you mean? It's fine. It's fine. And you know it's not fine. Right, let's get back to it. Right, a quick interior tour of the interior of the luxury HS. Now, everything you see here is included in the purchase price of 539,000 Rand. This is the luxury spec, which gets a few more toys. So I'll tell you what you won't get if you go for the 499,000 Rand comfort model. This one has electric seats for driver and passenger, 6-way for the driver, 4-way for the passenger, and lumbar support for the driver. You also get a wireless charging pad, dual zone climate control, a front parking assistant. You only get a rear in the Comfort one. You also get an 8-speaker sound system, and you get adaptive cruise control. But the big difference between the Comfort and the Luxury is the huge panoramic sunroof, which is split in the middle, and the front bit slides back and goes forward and tilts like most sunroofs do. South Africans really love sunroofs, and they've never really understood the appeal. But a panoramic roof really does make the car feel very spacious, and then this one has an electric blind. Down here you get 2 USB ports, and what's quite thoughtful from MG is that they have provided adapters. Look at this, how nice is this? 2 little adapters, so that if you have the wrong cable for that, if you have a Type C instead of a Type A, then you can plug in your cable. There's also a little booklet in here which has all the emergency numbers for MG Australia. It's very helpful, isn't it? into the back seats. As you can see, the pano roof stretches right over my head, which is super cool. So if you can find one of those old school car washes, the thing, you know, like a big like bottle brush, your kids will absolutely love that. 2 USB ports back here, your own air vents, but the real star of the show is how much space there is. I mean, that's my driving position. I'm like 6'8". I'm joking, I'm 5'9", but look how much space there is. Look at that. And the general seat comfort is really good, really is. This is actually, for cruising for long distances, I think adults and kids will be very happy back here. You've got an armrest with 2 drinks holders and a proper 3rd safety belt as well. The boot. The boot area of the MG HS is actually quite interesting, and not in a good way. However, with the luxury model, you do get an electric tailgate, which is quite nice. Now look at that, it's very shallow. It's actually shallower than the smaller MG ZS, and I wonder if it's got something to do with the fact that this is also sold as a hybrid in some markets. So if we go for our budget cooler box test, highly scientific, it does fit in. It's not bad, it's not bad. And what's quite interesting about the HS is I thought it was quite a bit smaller than its key rival, the Haval H6. However, it's almost exactly the same length and a little bit wider, but Haval quotes 600 liters for its boot, whereas MG quotes 510, and I think that is quite accurate. Now there is a spare wheel somewhere under there. It's actually pretty hard to get to, but it does come fitted as standard, and that's how you put your parcel shelf back in place. The seats fold in a 60-40 split, and then you obviously get much more space, but I'm a little disappointed with how big the boot is there. Actually, it feels like it could have been designed a bit differently. Just careful for the boot, it's dangerous. Right, back to you on the road, Chiro. What this car is for me is a great daily driver at this price. I mean, a lot of cars these days sort of have that disposable feeling to them. They're not exactly going to be future classics. You're not going to hand this down to your kids in 20 years time. But for 3 years of ownership, 4 years of ownership, sell it on, trade it in, I don't think, you know, you'll lose too much on it really. It'll provide good motoring at a good price for a couple of years. And that's pretty much what you get at this end of the market. In terms of the overall experience you're getting from this car, I do feel like you're getting your money's worth, maybe more so. I spent a lot of time in that Tiggo one, and in not any metric is it better than this. It just doesn't bong at you the whole time, which I appreciate. But as a daily driver, highway, head down to the coast on the open road, yeah, it does it. It does it all fine. If you boil it all down to what you need out of a car like this at this price point, it ticks all those boxes. It's not the most exciting car to drive, but it's not really trying to be. As a motoring journalist, I try approach new cars like this without any expectations. And I think often what happens is because we're spoiled and we get to drive performance cars all of the time, you sort of expect this to, or you might expect it to behave like, say, a BMW X4M competition. And that's just not what this car is. And if you approach it like, say, my mom would approach it, then it's probably fine. It does all the things you need it to do in a pleasant way. Speed up. Allow me to philosophize with you for a moment. So I just made that up now. I've been amazed over the last 20 years at how the South African market has shifted and how motorists have left bad snobbery behind and are now looking for great value. And that is one reason why the Chinese are doing so well, but it's also a change which the Chinese have made happen by offering good products at a good price. And the number one question I get around these cars is, are they reliable and what's the longevity like? Is this car going to be great at 100,000 Ks? And I think, again, a reason why the Chinese are doing so well in our market is because All cars are disposable these days. Nobody is making cars that make you want to keep them forever. I mean, Mercedes-Benz have gone so far down the cost-cutting road that literally you get into a very expensive Merc and I'm telling you, it doesn't feel any better than this. It really doesn't. Whereas in the old days when my dad bought a Merc, he didn't think he was ever going to sell it. So the legacy brands aren't competing on that anymore. They're not selling you a car for life. They're selling you a car that you're going to give back in 3 to 5 years. And the Chinese are selling you the exact same thing at half the price. And that's why I think these vehicles make sense to a lot of people. The experience is good enough. It's good enough to challenge pretty much everything that is coming out of the legacy brands. In some ways, it's better. But what is the point of paying more for something that you're going to dispose of? And I think that's why brands like this, cars like this, have a real chance of success in South Africa. I really hope you found this review useful. Now jump onto our socials and let's carry on the conversation there, and I'll see you in the comment section as well. Let me know what you think of these new MGs. Are you interested? Are you going to add it to your shopping list maybe? Are you going to go and take one for a test drive? Have you taken one for a test drive? Have you bought one? Tell us everything in the comments. And remember, Cars.co.za has been doing this for a long time. Not only do we have over 70,000 cars on our website, we also have nearly 900 long form videos on YouTube. Drag races, track races, loads of reviews. If you're looking for a review of a car on the second-hand market, there's probably an earlier version of me which has reviewed that car, which you'll find on our channel. Right, thanks very much. We'd love it if you liked and subscribed to the channel. Really appreciate you spending this time with me, and I'll see you on the next one.
What's the car with Cars.co.za? This is Karen. Her name's not really Karen. You just know the hood on her car is really well used. Beep! Now think of a car. Any car. Yes, we have it. Cars.co.za. Let's find what moves you.